Hi, I'm Martin Lee. I'm the co-founder and director of Project CBD, which is an educational platform that focuses on cannabis science and therapeutics. We're based in Northern California, and we were instrumental back in 2010 in introducing CBD to the medical marijuana community in California. And it has spread from there and since become a worldwide global phenomenon. At the time, we were interested initially in CBD. It wasn't in the context of it being an isolated component of the plant. We always understood that CBD, which stands for cannabidiol, one of many components of the cannabis plant with medicinal properties, we always understood it as working best in concert with the other components of the plant, in particular with THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, the high causing component of cannabis. CBD and THC work best in combination. And because THC and CBD interact with what's known as the endocannabinoid system, it means that both these compounds or the cannabis plant itself can be very helpful for a wide range of diseases because according to leading scientists at the National Institute of Health, modulating this system, the endocannabinoid system, can have therapeutic benefit for nearly all diseases that affect humans. This is the going perception within the higher echelons of the medical establishment within the US government. Unfortunately, cannabis is still illegal. It's still seen officially, federally, as a drug with no medical value and that it's dangerous somehow. The reason why CBD is important is because it can actually balance the intoxicating properties of THC. So that if one wants to benefit therapeutically from the cannabis plant, one doesn't necessarily have to get high from it. It really depends on how much CBD as compared to the THC is in the product or in the plant that is one is consuming. But it is important to emphasize they work best together and they bring out the therapeutic properties of each in concert as part of an ensemble or an entourage effect. The idea is that there are many components of the cannabis plant. Scientists have looked at all these individually and they can attribute certain medical properties to each thing. But when you put it all together, what's significant is that all these components, led by CBD and THC, form together a kind of holistic entourage effect so that the therapeutic impact of the whole plant is greater than the sum of the parts or greater than an individual component. These days, the CBD industry is very intent on promoting the idea that CBD is the medical rock star now. It's the one that it's the compound that's everybody's interested in. But we stick to our early conceptions and emphasize that really is important to understand that it works best as part of the whole plant matrix. And CBD is not something that just comes from the hemp plant, which is defined legally now as cannabis with very little amount of THC. CBD, actually the best source is from cannabis plants, it turns out. So what is exciting, however, is that it means a lot of people who would never have given a thought to using cannabis for therapeutic purposes have become interested in availing themselves of the potential medical benefits now that they know that they can use these products without necessarily getting high or without getting very high. Let's put it that way. Because it turns out that everybody metabolizes these compounds differently. And some people have a really hard time with anything to do with THC, the high causing component of cannabis. Even the most minute amount of it makes people very uncomfortable. A lot of people experience euphoria, but some people experience dysphoria. And for those people, it would be sad that they wouldn't have a chance to benefit from cannabis medicinally, and it has a lot of medicinal benefits. But now that CBD is part of the picture, they can access those benefits and in very significant ways, because we see just on our website alone at Project CBD, that there's many different reasons that people are reaching for CBD products and using them with positive effect. The main conditions that people seem to be benefiting from are anxiety, depression, and pain. But there's a lot of others too. There's some very compelling scientific research that indicates that CBD and other components of the cannabis plant actually have anti-tumoral properties, anti-cancer properties. The one danger about CBD that one should emphasize, and overall it's a very safe compound, but the danger is that it interacts with many different drugs. CBD interacts with most pharmaceuticals approved by the FDA. So if one has a serious medical condition and wants to integrate CBD in part of their health regimen, they should really consult with the doctor to understand how CBD may interact with the pharmaceuticals that they're already consuming. It sounds scary a little bit, drug interactions, but it might not be the case. In fact, it could be that one could benefit from CBD in a way that would allow one to reduce the dose of the pharmaceuticals that they're taking. So if they're on a chemotherapy regimen, for example, where chemotherapy agents tend to be very toxic and can actually harm the healthy cells, not just the cancer cells. The experiments that within the scientific world, what it's showing now is that when you combine CBD with the standard chemotherapy regimes, it allows one to lower the amount of the conventional chemotherapy that one takes when it's combined with CBD, because CBD will potentiate the pharmaceutical. So, that's potentially a positive way of a drug interaction might work for a person. But one has to be careful because CBD could inhibit the metabolism of a pharmaceutical so that the pharmaceutical stays in one's system longer and you could overdose. So one has to be very careful, but keeping in mind that there's tremendous potential with respect to the cannabis plant in general and CBD in particular, especially when it's combined with THC and the other components of the plant.